Welcome back to Cold Iron's Kitchen. I'm Wade. And as you can tell by the festive hat here, it's just about 4th of July. No, not really. It's actually Christmas Eve. And I'm cooking a dish that I've made before, but I've made some changes to it. Recently, I competed in the America's Masterchef. And I've already gotten the first interview for the show, so we're crossing our fingers. But this is the dish I presented to the judges. It was well received. So we're going to take a look down here. I've got a pound of chorizo, which is a Mexican sausage frying up here. Just getting that all cooked up there. In this pan, I have 2½ cups of chicken broth, 1½ cups of water, and those 3 things that are floating there are chipotles, which is a smoked jalapeno. I'm infusing the flavor of the chipotle into the broth to make the polenta just dance a little. Well, this stuff's ready to come out of the pan. It'll go back in soon. Doesn't it look odd for left-handed people to be doing things? Now you notice there's some oil in the bottom of the pan. It's perfectly alright, because we're going to use it to fry up the rest of the stuff. Set that aside. Now we're going to put in about a ½ cup, maybe a little more of onions. I'm going to get that sauteed up. See, that chorizo oil adds a little bit of color to it. The reason why chorizo is red is it's seasoned with paprika. Several different types of paprika usually. And there's smoked paprika out there, there's Turkish paprika, South American paprika. Every region's got its own. A little more heat on those. Okay, now to that we're going to add 2 cloves minced garlic, because garlic is good. And saute that around just a little bit. Yeah, we're waiting for this to come to a boil so we can put a cup of polenta in there. Polenta is a grit-style cornmeal. Oh, I wish this thing had a smell channel. The smell of this is incredible already. Okay, now that those sauteed up a bit, we're going to put in 1 pound of mushrooms. Cremini mushrooms. Sliced. Now you're looking at that saying, that's an awful lot of mushrooms. But no, these things are going to shrink down. I got a hold of a real big one though. This is a beauty. Okay. I'll saute this stuff around here a little bit. And now we're going to let the stuff weep down for just a couple minutes, and we'll be back to you. Hi, we're back. Now, I told you these were going to cook down just, ouch, that's hot, just a bit. Oh man, that aroma. Now you see that they cook down quite a bit. We're going to add some spices to this. What I have here is a short mixture of fresh basil, cayenne pepper, cumin, celery seed, and thyme. Add that to it, stir that in. You can see where this is going, can't you? Oh, yes, good infusion of flavors there. I'm going to put the sausage back in there. Sausage was feeling all left out and lonely. Stir that in. And 1 can of diced or chopped tomatoes. You can use any type of tomatoes chopped you like. You can use the plain ones, you can use the no salt, you can use the ones that we're going to use. These have lime juice and cilantro in them, just a little bit more spice. Okay, now, you can rip the top off the can. Oh, okay, and then add the tomatoes to it. Trick can.
I didn't get that in the picture.
And then stir this, and it's got to come back to a nice full boil. And cook down a little bit more. But right here, you've got your basic ragu. Now, ragu simply means sauce. That's all it means, ragu sauce. So when you go to the store and you buy ragu spaghetti sauce, you're getting sauce spaghetti sauce. It's kind of ironic, but I think it's kind of funny. Okay, we're going to go away for a few minutes because, got to also add a pinch of salt. Let that cook in there. Let's see how this stuff's doing over here. Not quite to a boil yet. When that comes to a boil, we'll be back. Hi, we're back. If you look in the pan here, we're boiling, which is great. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to rescue these chipotles that have done their job infusing flavor. Short-lived rescue. Okay, now what we're going to do is put a pinch of salt in that. And we're going to add some flavors to it. I got some chopped sun-dried tomatoes and some more fresh basil. Again, not a lot of it, just enough to infuse some flavor. And then we're going to add polenta, which is a cornmeal, as I said earlier. Sprinkle that around in there. Sprinkle it in sections so it doesn't lump up on you. Now this has got to come back to a full bubble. Then you turn it down on low, and this stuff is going to cook for about 20 minutes. So now we're going to wooden spoon. Stir that in there just like that. Turn it down, lower your temperature so it just comes to a nice burble. See how that's working there? Now this stuff's going to thicken up in about 15 minutes, which makes for a nice waiting time. You can see that the ragu is bubbling up nicely, cooking together swell. Turn that down too. Okay, we're going to let this stuff cook, and we'll be back to you.
Okay.
Hi, we're back. The polenta has just reached the perfect consistency as far as it's going. To that we're going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese and 1 tablespoon of butter. And stir that in. This makes a nice creamy consistency to the polenta. It's just a beautiful thing. I'm just going to let that sit in there and melt for a second because we're going to come back to this. And I'm just going to open up a hole here in the middle, I hope. And now this step is not necessary. It's just one I like to take. Put some cornstarch in that to thicken that up just slightly. It's about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, about 2 teaspoons of water. Just pop that right in there. And you see how that just instantly thickens up a bit? We're going to cook this open now for a while, let some of the moisture burn off. Also, it drives the dogs nuts, the smell of it all. And we're going to continue to whip our cream cheese and butter into this. Look how the color's changing a little bit. What we got here again, 4 cups of liquid mixed between water and broth, infused with chipotle. Then we put a cup of polenta in there. We've got some sun-dried tomatoes in that, some fresh basil. Now we've got the cream cheese and butter in there. This is just about done. We'll be back to you in just a couple minutes. See you in a bit. Hi, we're back. Everything's ready to go. Now it's time for plating. Now this is what the judges at the America's Masterchef competition got to see. They got to see a polenta line on this gorgeous plate, by the way. I love this plate. Topped with a ragu. And then we put Parmesan cheese on that. Plate just for the effect. A little bit of chopped basil for color, plus the basil just adds something to it. And for final effect, that's your polenta with a mushroom sausage ragu. Merry Christmas, folks.